But it looks like that Maokai that we saw doing quite a lot of work, at least early on in the previous game, could very well come through.
Yeah, I think I still like the Maokai here. Of course, the Maokai did end up swapping down onto the bot side and just sort of like sustained through that laning phase very nicely. But expectation here should absolutely be that that is going to be locked into the jungle for Gemini. The question then, do we just match the Sejuani again? Do we look for something maybe a little bit more aggressive? There are options here for Steel if we don't want to just match tank v tank in the jungle.
We'll see what they're going to go for as I feel like your first duo can be extremely powerful, and with the Xayah hovered, you could very well see the Rakan there just alongside it. Solid bot lane duo, fantastic later on in the team fights as well.
Yeah, DFM were also perfectly happy to, we'll talk about the Blitzcrank if that gets locked in. That's a Xiaoxi classic. But I think DFM were perfectly happy to sort of delay the picks for Steel and Arya in the last draft until second rotation. So taking a power bot lane here in the Xayah Rakan, especially when you see like Maokai ult on the other side, Rumble ult. Now, like, this is a very strong topside map, tons of range, even though they're all like melee champions. The ability to influence you from very far away is going to be quite powerful.
I mean, it just feels like 3 outright power picks for CFO, right? And power picks that work together really well on top of it as well, like the Maokai ult with the Rumble ult. Obviously, Maokai Jace, we all know it's a fantastic combo. Atherman going to go for the Aatrox once again. I mean, the laning phase didn't go that bad, considering it's really not a great matchup. Like, he managed to stay relatively even in farm and get towards the late game. It's just the whole team is too far behind for him to really get into those fights.
I think also like the Aatrox is just a long time you know, comfort pick for Appamen too. Remind, if you are just jumping in, Appamen has not played professionally since 2021 and did not play in the summer split for DFM. Udapon was playing top lane. Appamen comes in to the top just for Worlds here, with Udapon swiping back to the bot side. But yeah, the Aatroxes, the Nars, the Renekton's are sort of what I was expecting Appamen to be playing, and that is absolutely the read from here.
So Ezreal taking off the board, Nocturne as well. A bit of focus towards that jungle coming out from CFO. Not too surprising. The real question to me, we already saw the Blitzcrank hovered. Do you ban the Blitzcrank, DFM? Do you, are you willing to risk going up against Xiaoxi's Blitzcrank? Xiaoxi's unironic Blitzcrank, as it's been called today. There is no ban, ironic or not. And so Xiaoxi has that potentially available.
Yeah, the Nocturne might catch you a little bit by surprise, but this was the pick that Steel actually locked in Game 5 back in the finals to a win. That was next to an Ahri in the mid lane. So something that could have worked here for DetonatioN Focus Me, and actually would be pretty annoying if you just drop that ultimate in the middle of a team fight when Rumble lays down the ult, and all of a sudden you just can't follow up and deal any damage on all those targets being hit. So yeah, the big engagers, the Nocturne, the Sejuani, Vi again, I'm now looking at, does Steel just lock that in once more if they want to take the Vi Ahri? Because that is, it's a very similar style of comp, I think, especially on that top side. Jarvan could be interesting, though. It's a little bit tough for Jace and Rumble to play the game. No easy way to jump on out of there, out of that Cataclysm. So that's going to be the lock for Steel.
We'll see how CFO are going to respond to it. Like you say, Jarvan can do well into these champions. Yeah! Gonna go for the Kaiser, and instantly Xiaoxi locks in his signature. He's been known for this pick for years, and I'm telling you, once we get onto that rift, just keep an eye on that player. His name even looks like a Blitzcrank hook. Like, he was born to play this champion.
I absolutely love it. The Kaiser Blitzcrank, not something you see locked in every day, but hey, you land a hook, the knock, you are hyper stacking that Kaiser passive. That is insane burst damage, and Arya is taking it all into his own hands there with the Akali coming in last. This is like a time machine comp back to 2018. The solo lanes, the Xayah Rakan on the bot side, like, you could have literally picked that up from 5 years ago and you wouldn't have surprised me.
I mean, it feels scrappy, doesn't it? This comp from DFM feels like it wants to get in and fight you, and like, that's kind of what we want from DFM. That's exactly how we'd love to see DFM play, so I'm excited to see it. And Arya, like, fantastic game from him in the previous one. Like, so many great charms, so many great moments. Now on a pick where you have pretty much maximum available skill expression, I'm here to see it.
He was so far up last game, but the coordination between him and the rest of the team was a big weakness. That has to be locked in. That has to be perfect, right? Who you're deciding to delete in a fight with that Akali. It's going to be a big focus from DFM in this game if they want to force us into a Game 3 versus CFO.
We'll see if they can find it. CFO 1-0 up in this series. They're feeling good. And I got to say, they've got plenty of power picks in their composition. This Jace looked amazing for JimieN. I mean, we saw the flash prediction on the Shock Blast. We saw so many great moments from him across the course of the game. The Rumble as well. I mean, both of those solo ladies looking really good in one specific play where they picked Apperman. But we'll see how they're going to be able to use these power picks and whether or not DFM can challenge them in this early game.
Here we go. Game number 2 coming in. Top side of the map looks very similar to game 1. Bot lane, a completely different story. Lovers duo flying on in for DFM. We'll see what they can do with a little bit more power on that bottom side of the map. Eyes also out for steal in the early game. I think in game number 1, Gemini was beating him to the punch on a lot of plays. He was playing reactive as opposed to active. Now on the Jarvan, you're coming online at level 2, so there's angles to look for an early flash and then repeat punish into a lane.
We'll see what they're going to do is, again, this kind of early tiptoeing around, wanting to get a bit of vision. As there we go, first strike cashed in. Massive gold lead for CFO of 6 Gs right here. But DFM, they've got 4 players in tow. Gemini's got to be a little bit cautious as Harp's still in the area. This could go sideways. I think he'll be okay. Yeah, Harp decides, yeah, this is not a fight I want to take.
Yeah, nothing really to be done off of that one. And honestly, in terms of like bot lane as well, Yutapon not being required to leash or anything is going to be able to get a quick push down there. Nice trade from JimieN, but Arya not able to find that second Q. So JimieN just going to feel very nice in lane, transforms, so gets a little bit of extra damage on that auto. Arya will have to sustain, but like I was talking about on the bot side of the map, very expected normally in the Xayah versus Kai'Sa matchup that Xayah can just sort of, maybe even take W at level 1 and fast push that wave with the feathers. But with the Blitzcrank especially, that's the one. It's been a while.
He's called Shousey.
You're not going to be getting
Blitzcrank, Shousey, either one of those words will work. Oh, and you can already see the angles he's looking for, right? Trying to get just on the edge of that minion. But before we get too hectic in this game, don't forget to connect your League of Legends account with Prime Gaming to grab the exclusive experimentation emote. Then once you grab that, you can raise your dongers all day long.
Wait, that's the guy from Arcane. Oh, nice hook.
Oh, the hook under the tower. Harp takes a tower shot for it. Luckily for him, he's on Rakan, so he's going to be okay, but even still,
if Shousey was level 2, he would have not been okay. That would have been some big trouble with a little knock up there, just interrupting the dash. But that's honestly how a lot of these hook matchups go. You lose the push level 1, but even if you're down a level, you land a hook under tower, you get that poke down, you're going to feel very, very happy. So that's already 1 potion burned through from Harp on the bot side of the map, although as you can see, Yutapon just stacking up those minions.
Yeah, it certainly is. JimieN will be able to.
Got denied.
It'll be okay. It'll be okay. I try not to focus too much on cannons in pro players. Oh no! Just as we say it, just as I say, I'm not going to focus on it.
We don't have Senna, we don't have Draven anymore. So like, what else is there to count? I don't count stacks, so now I'm going to count -1, -2, whatever comes after 2. Someone will tell me eventually.
I think it's 3. I believe it's 3.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those, you can never be too careful. Maths keeps changing these days. Well, or at least my memory is. But we'll have to see how this top matchup is going to go. Because I feel like Apperman, we kind of hyped him up a little bit. Coming in, fresh from 2021, coming into the World Championship. I feel like there's quite a bit of pressure on his shoulders. Sean does get rooted up. He'll be okay. And actually, knock up onto Shousey as well. This is a good bit of laning coming out from DFM, getting some massive pressure in the bottom lane.
I love a Rakan that'll play on. You're playing versus Blitzcrank. You're like, actually, I'm completely safe. I just, W on in, E on out, just gliding around there. And if you can ever, smash the Blitzcrank's mana pool by baiting him into using a hook there, you're gonna be in a very nice position. That's actually both pots burned through from Shousey, so only the biscuits to work with. And Shun's just going to take a quick little reset while Shousey looks for gank in mid. Walks up the ward, though, so surely Arya can't die to this.
Emphasis on the word surely there, because I've seen it before. Maybe not from Arya, though. I feel like Arya having a really good day today. The Arya looked fantastic in game number 1. Couldn't quite convert that into a win. I'll be hoping to do so here in the second game. DFM, they would desperately love to get a game on the board. Unable to do so at MSI. this year, and they'll be looking to have a little bit of a better performance here. Luckily for them, we've changed the format. It's double elimination. They get another chance after this one. But they'd love to not need that second chance. They'd love to have their first chance first.
It is preferable to win games, I think is the moral of the story here.
Yeah.
Winning, generally considered good.
Wise. Wise
words. What can I say? I'm a master of it. Honestly, I feel like it's pretty hard for either team to get much done. We didn't see Steel look for any sort of early flash, and a lot of times it's hard to like follow up on these lanes to burn a flash unless maybe you go top side where the Rumble's really pushed forward and Upperman can try to burn something. But it's just bot lane Prio switching back against Harp and Udapun right now.
And I will say, this is the expected game pace from CFO. Like, this is their standard game pace. Quite often you see in the early games back in PCS that...
yes, talk about the chill pace.
The second I say that, Shousey charges in. It's going to be the target onto Harp, and his first blood instantly. He's just deleted. Unipod, what a route, though! What a turnaround from Unipod back into AD carry, and CFO know about it.
See, we know how to get action going. Just say, hey, nothing's gonna happen right here. CFO really committed for that kill, but Steel is there. Trade on back. As a matter of fact, Shun getting sent back to base is pretty unfortunate, although 2 tanks down on the bot side. They're just gonna hold that way for as long as possible. That'll be a lot to cash in for Shun.
Yeah, Jimmy low on mana, otherwise he'd maybe have an opportunity in the mid lane there, but no. Shousey, I mean, what can you do?
Yeah, you were supposed to hold the wave. Jungler takes the cannon minion, then lets 3 die to the tower.
Look, it is hell. It was hell, ultimately. Shun's managed to get there back in time. Should be able to hold this wave a little bit longer as well. That should just about freeze as Harp and Steel, in fact, Steel just returning to the bottom lane once again. Sweeper there. Gemini will be spotted, but the sapling comes on in. And that's going to be full information now for both teams. So no play should come through, although maybe up towards the top side. Rest has that ultimate available. Going to be poking Upperman under the tower. Yeah,
Rest actually switched to teleport. He had Ignite in the last game. I think after realizing, hey, I wasn't really playing for kills in lane, and it was really nice with all the teleports going around the map. Just trying to match that a little bit more. But as far as things are concerned, I feel like if Steel just hovers bot lane kind of permanently, it really neutralizes what CFO can do. You know, even if you're landing a hook, Steel's going to be there. Udapon has priority in this matchup regardless, so pretty simple to just play for Drake. After the kills were traded on the bottom side of the map, Gemini is just going to keep farming up here and covering, make sure that any dives can't happen, because now that Steel and Harp went on that walkabout inside the enemy jungle, you know that's something they can continue to look for. Whenever they have the shove on the bot side, Harp can move up, play for a little bit of vision, and make it impossible for a repeat visit from Gemini.
On top of that, it just makes a ton of sense when you've got an Aatrox up in the top lane that's against the Rumble. You've got an Akali that realistically wants to get out of mid lane and scrap. You've got a Xayah that you can stack up. Why would you not focus on the bottom lane? Great counter gank here. Shousey starting this one up. I mean, the speed at which they kill Harp, very impressive.
Yeah.
But then great answer. The route from beautiful.
I wonder, I feel like Harp could maybe play things a little bit slower. Like Steel is coming on the way, keep them interested, and Harp just sends it. It works. They're able to trade it back with the feathers, but maybe could have slowed things down just ever so slightly. But that's what I'm talking about with the burst between the Blitzcrank crowd controls, hyper stacking, the Kai'Sa passive. That is going to be an insta one-shot whenever you're grabbing a squishier target. Yeah,
Umbral Glaive picked up as well by Shun at this point, so he's feeling strong in this game, but DFM grouping up top to get that Herald once again. And
CFO learned their lesson. Yeah. We're not going to fight that again.
Yeah, this is the repeat of last time, except like you say, this time they're not going to walk into the brush. This time they're not going to contest without their team nearby.
Yeah. Unfortunately, because Shun and Shousey still walked mid, they don't just have the insta-push on bot side, so by the time Udapon and Harp get down here, they're going to fully pick up all those minions. Woo. Nice little attempt there. Getting the execute and the hook to come in, but yeah, no minions really denied from Udapon, so it's dead even CS, mid, bot, top lanes where it's really opened up. Rest with that Prio and junglers being very busy on the bottom side of the map is being so annoying. Cancels the reset on Steel. He's got Herald, so it's not a really big deal, but it's just doing really nicely for himself on the top side. We didn't see it.
Luckily, CFO didn't see it, because if they did, I think Shousey flashes on that play, honestly. That's a free kill onto Harp if they knew about it, but it wasn't on vision. Harp will get away with it, but that's one of those, that's what we call in the UK a squeaky bum moment, where it's like, you're Harp in that situation, you know those buttocks clenched as soon as he misclicked that W. He'll be okay. He walks away with his life, and it's only 1-1 on the scoreboard. But DFM, I'm a little concerned about that fact. I feel like we need to start to see skirmishes now. The Akali, level 9, you've got your boots in. Obviously, you like to get to that first item, but we've seen Akali's pop off before first item before. It's a champion that, with setup from things like a Jarvan, you'd love to get into a scrap.
Yeah, I'm kind of eyeing the Drake in 2.5 minutes time, because it's not a problem that they're not like dominating just yet, but like you're saying, yeah, the skirmish in the next few minutes going to be a big deal, whether or not that is around an objective like the Drake, the Herald, or just, you know, getting vision inside the enemy jungle and setting something up. It's important to note it is the Umbral Glaive build that's been catching some popularity for Shun's Kai'Sa down on the bottom side of the map, so really big damage on that Q as Rest just gets a little bit of poke and insta-push the wave. He wants to take a easy reset for himself, I would imagine.
He wants to take a rest, if you will. I've just got
to
to get out of my system, you know? I've got to get out of my system.
I wonder if he saw steal on the bot side and thought, if I get a fast push here, I can auto the tower a few times and look to chunk out for an early play. That would be an idea of like going for the insta-push, as you know you can't get ganked, so you can just disrespect the lane almost entirely. It could have also just been a little bit of poke there, because it did do about 150, 200 damage onto Appaman, who's been completely stuck underneath his tower.
Yeah. And, I mean, either the overlay's broken or his ult is back up again, so low cooldown at this point. Chelsea gonna get CC'd up. He's got the silence, though, and actually gets out with his life. And now Shun trying to get the damage down, but Cataclysm keeps him in the play. Killer Instinct over the Cataclysm, so he will get out with his life, but CFO trying to make these plays happen. It's not quite working out for him.
Yeah, maybe they think with the Umbral Glaive having the item advantage there is better, but after the burst damage comes in, it seemed like Yutapon was just eating up there with the damage from the feathers reigning supreme. Now Herald dropped from the bot side too. That should be 2 turret plates if they can get some auto attacks down here as well. So nicely done. This bot lane prio really working for DFM, opting in, you know, saying, hey, you can pick the Blitzcrank. That is absolutely no problem. We're just going to take prio in this matchup. A completely different look to game number 1, where they were just content to farm up and stack up on the Sen of Maokai.
Yeah, it's one of the, I feel like they've drafted this composition. It's like, it's okay if you hook us because we want to be in your face. That's our comfort zone.
Yeah,
Please
it's like a little public transport system. You just hop on the Blitzcrank train and all of a sudden you're in Shun's face.
Oh, fantastic. We'll see what Chelsea can get done, though, across the game. I like that we've seen a lot of attempts from Chelsea, right? We saw the pick onto Heart. We've seen him going towards the mid lane a couple of times. That control ward getting some big value here.
Step in the bush!
Heart knows exactly what's going on. They could set up a play.
Yeah, Chelsea saw him walk in here. Does he just go for the blind hook? Oh, if he'd gotten 1 second sooner. He should have just known.
And why didn't they read their minds?
Why can't he just see
I mean, look, we've seen plenty of mind control over the last couple of years of League of Legends. I don't see it being out of the picture at this point. As vision around the dragon comes up. You mentioned this dragon a couple of minutes ago as a potential catalyst here for DFM.
But also just how annoying is it to be DFM? You go on this cycle off a reset, you put down vision inside the enemy jungle. Thank goodness they still have that control ward down. But that's actually going to get spotted because Shun is going to walk straight on past it, and he's got Umbral Glaive, so it's impossible to have any vision. Chelsea not going to waste his time looking for the recon. But yeah, how do you have any vision control against, you know, the double sweepers coming in, control ward purchases on everyone from CFO and the Umbral Glaive? It's going to be tough to re-clear this river.
So here's control wards coming through as well. Vision will be cleared. DFM, I say they'd like to move in, but it's a bit risky, and it's always risky to play into darkness when Blitzcrank is on the enemy team. Dragon started, but Steel has vision of the area for the time being. Gemini could just pop his ult here to try and brute force and engage as Harp sidesteps the hook. But ultimately, it's a Drake take, and Gemini will walk away. Bit of damage onto these sideline towers, but realistically, not that much gain from the side of DFM.
I don't hate this, though. CFO were trying to set up a little answer to the play, and they catch Steel.
They read him like a book. Steel is gone. It's another kill for Shun. I love the blast cone play, the creativity there from CFO.
CFO are so active. It's a really good look from them, matching everything. And that's after I thought it was a nice response from DFM. The fight was really tough because they didn't have vision, so Appaman will get a turret plate topside. They'll burn the TP on Rest, and Yutapon has the full push bot. They're looking for the fight.
Chelsea rooted up, has that mana shield, gets the knock up onto Yutapon, and Shun's untouched so far. That's the Feather Storm down. Surely Shun can finish the kill onto Yutapon here. The flash for the feathers, but he doesn't find the root, and now Shun chasing for more onto Harp.
Yutapon's so close on those feathers, but not quite at the end of the day. gets the kill, but now it's a full wave lost to that bot side tower. And CFO take all the momentum away from DFO. The dragon play into the response in bot lane was just perfect.
Yeah, tough situation now for DFM, a team that realistically they want to be finding these glitches. They started this play.
Yeah, so Shun thinks the bush is clear because he just sent the W out into it. That's a really nice play from DFM, but Gemini is just babysitting down here. I'd be mad if I was Udapon and can't quite find it on the flash. Shun also had a nice response there. I don't think it ended up mattering, but the ultimate to reposition and dodge away from the feathers is exactly the right idea.
I just love this read onto Steel. It's so great. The fact that you could see them about to blast go and they're like, wait a second, Steel could be here. They could be trying to set up the dive. They go as a 3, and it pays dividends. Beautiful stuff from CFO. And now they'll get a Herald off the back of it as well.
Yep. And with moving their duo into the mid lane as well, now it's turned around. They can get Prio in mid lane really, really easily for themselves. More than happy to send DetonatioN down onto the bottom side of the map. And CFO, kind of their mantra in game 1 was take the fights around objectives. Gemini was very active in the early game, but then between objectives, they would, play a little bit more controlled, just full vision control inside the rivers, make sure DFM couldn't really set anything up onto them. And then when it came to their objective setup, always grouping with 5, always with Prio through mid lane into the dragon. It was very nice.
Hook through onto Steel, and he's just gone. He's just one-shot DetonatioN.
Walk straight over.
Has that lethality as Shousey actually got the kill from that one. Harp forced to flash. He's in the back of the pit on his lonely. Onsome rooted up, knocked back. Shousey is here to find the hook. Is it on cooldown? Must have been on cooldown for just another couple of seconds.
That's tough. Steel and Harp looking for another, invade option, whether it's a pick or vision, doesn't matter. Harp and Udapon, we'll keep our eyes on them, but this fight not going to be good for them.
Is it me or if we swap to Jace AD carry? Like, DetonatioN and Shousey have just buddied up, just running around the map together.
Yeah, Kai'Sa's a mid laner too. It makes sense.
That's true. That's true. Double Duskblade as well, now locked in. Rest has that Night Harvester. We've all seen what that spike can do for a Rumble. We all saw what happened to Abham in the last game when the items came on through for Rest. Things are feeling pretty good for any PCS fans at home right now.
Walking over a ward. There's no sweeper, and DetonatioN was just reading that, It was walking bot side to pick up the big wave, but as soon as you see him on the vision, can instantly path up there and catch that play in transition. And DFM, if they want to go for looks like that, first of all, you need to be able to sweep through, make sure there's not vision, but between the Jarvan and the Rakan, is that enough damage to actually kill anyone? I don't think so. I don't think so. Pretty sure Arya needs to be involved in that in some way. You have to have a third player in a look like that or it's just not going to work.
And speaking of Arya, he's had a very quiet game so far. Farming up with Storm, fantastic. He's got that mythic. We talked, another hook. The silence is there as well. Shousey with his second kill of the game. Finding another pick, finding another moment, and finding a window into the dragon potentially for his team.
And every single hook from the Blitzcrank means you're just getting a fully isolated cast of the Acathian Rain on the Kai'Sa, and that's the huge lethality build. That is so much damage.
It's just dawned on me what the C in Shousey stands for. It stands for Crank. We got Shao Crank
the Shao Crank
on the scene, and he's making it look fantastic. 100% kill participation so far in the Blitzcrank.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I mean, they're going to be able to get this Drake, certainly, you'd imagine. DFM have the cooldowns, but do they have the items? I'm not so convinced. Maybe if they could set up some kind of a pick onto Shun here with Shousey showing on the bot side of the map. That's a Hex Splash over. Arya's in trouble.
Oh,
straight up the sky.
Silence turns invisible, but DetonatioN still getting some big damage down. TP's come through. Great little knockback on the quickness. And Harp gets no value out of his ultimate. Now Rest wants a little bit more. Equalizer available. Just slams it onto Arya to get a bit of damage down. And hey, honestly, you're happy with that 100 gold from the first strike. It's still a win.
Just cashing in. The chief financial officers are making it rain here on Summoner's Rift. The ultimate plus Herald in mid. They're not even going to catch anyone with the ult. Maybe could have used that straight up through mid to isolate them off the tower, but with 4 players around mid, DetonatioN on the move as well. This one's going down, and Udapon has to ult out of the hook.
And the Shao Crank forcing an ultimate now as DetonatioN found a 1v1 and just decimates Abham and sends him back to 2021 and Steel has to flee for his life.
The shock blast, I don't know if any of you saw it, but it was just narrowly avoided by Steel. That would have been the extra cherry on top. Yeah, you can kiss that dragon goodbye. CFO taking that one with ease.
And I mean, we got to comment on the sheer confidence that CFO are playing with here. They've shown up to play today. You know, second seed from BCS, 5 games in the finals. We keep on saying this, but like, now coming into play-ins, this doesn't look like a team that's nervous, that's panicking, that's not sure how to... Like, this looks like a cool, calm, collected, well-drilled squad.
I mean, I think Gemini's pathing in the early game has been lovely. The influence he's had over the map, their setup for picks and objective fights also has just been absolutely gorgeous.
Is it me, or did the ward see Rakan, but Rakan didn't see the ward there? That was... I don't know if that's just a replay bug.
I'm going to be honest, I have no idea.
Kind of funky.
I'm not going to lie to anyone and pretend like I know. Here's the shock blast, by the way. Oh, never mind.
It's hard to say whether
I'm not lying.
Like a vision
promise.
toggle or
I promise there was a shock blast that almost got it.
Yeah, I saw it. Don't
Thanks.
worry. Yeah, fantastic stuff, though, from CFO. They're in a great spot, and you got to feel this is a great show of confidence for them. A lot of people at home that have got PSG winning the pick'ems feeling a little bit nervous watching the series, because suddenly CFO might just be that contender from the PCS, but there might be a reason that they went to 5 games with PSG.
And look, if Xiaoxi's going to have the Blitzcrank and look like this, you got to be happy with the performance. I do think it is important to contextualize the roster they're playing versus, though. DFM, long-standing, just champions of Japan as a region.
Oh my God. He just don't miss. And DetonatioN has been found on the sideline. Finally, a shutdown over to the side of DFM,
Baron.
but I don't know if 600 gold is worth the Baron.
Yeah, but there's no teleports on the 2 soul laners that just got the kill on the bot side. That was Arya teleporting in. It's just Yutapon and Harp trying to stall things out, but it's already down to 5k.
Harp and Yutapon need some absolute heroics. Dashes away from the hook, 2k on the Baron. Baron's going to be taken. Can you get any kills? You're in a 2v4, though. This is surely unwinnable for them. Harp is down already. Yutapon having to use that ultimate. Now an equalizer comes on through. As Shun dives onto Apperman. This is a bloodbath, and DFM, they're just not having a good time anymore. Arya trying to get onto Shun, trying to find an assassination of his own, but he's knocked up and should be taken down. The Q can't quite finish the kill, but Xiaoxi can. It's Xiaocrank to the rescue.
It's just lights out from CFO. Xiaoxi, hook after hook after hook. Shun repositioning inside the team fight. Just wonderful stuff from the team. And it all starts with DetonatioN down here on the bottom side. That's a teleport straight onto a minion. At the same time, the pick happens on the top side. So Arya thinks that he's okay to go for this play because we've got 3 players and our jungler alive top side. Surely they can't go for the Baron flip, but then steal once again on Vision. And that has been the story of this game. Steel can't go anywhere without being seen. CFO just look like they have hacks on because the enemy jungler is permanently lit up.
It's too beautiful. And Xiaoxi he just doesn't seem to miss these hooks in the fights. Like, consistently finding his target. And then Arya, I respect the attempt to go for Shun here. Like, you've got to make something happen. You just lost Baron. But again, Xiaoxi arrives, flashes for the knock-up, and then when Arya tries to go back in, just bopped.
He just
straight
cancels
bopped.
it. Oh man, the E follow-up not gonna work there. Now Xiaoxi just playing inside the fog of war again, waiting for that moment. When's it gonna be? There's also a Hex Flash online. You don't want to clear that ward!
God, not again. It's happening again. Apperman's been found, and the Xiaocrank comes out on top once more. Okay, Killer Instinct's on cooldown. I thought for a second we were going to see Shun fly into the enemy base.
No.
Again, he just can't miss. He simply cannot miss. He doesn't know how.
Xiao's just this little rat sitting inside the topside jungle. Hook after hook after hook coming out of the fog of war. You think you're fine, and then all of a sudden, the little mouse hole opens up. You get dragged through it by a giant robot arm. It's just disgusting. And he's looking for more. He doesn't even have vision. That's just silly. He's a little silly goose.
Imagine if he hits that. Like, that's like, we're winning this game. I'm getting my montage mode. Because he finds a hook. Yutapon happens to be going there. Like, that's the game won.
What's better, the cross-map Ash arrow or the Blitzcrank hook with no information?
The Hex Flash blind hook. Steel charges it onto DetonatioN and kind of just gets bodied. I don't know about that one, Chief.
The poke coming in. We're just waiting for the Shock Blast combo. Oh no, DFM already been safe when they're running with all the range that CFO have. Prio went topside. At least there's no mid-wave here yet, so they can try to respond, but no, if Baron creeps, it's not gonna happen. Arya lives to see another day, just barely.
Toying with the idea of going in for this one. Arya's there with the Proto Belt, but Oh, the Everfrost almost locked him up on the equalizer there. Arya has to use the Zhonya's just to keep himself safe here. And the poke coming out from the Kai'Sa is really kicking in as well. There's plenty of AP in that build at this stage. Arya's low. Featherstorm also shot dives into the backline, and he's got the dust plate, so he gets away with it as well. The snipe is just a millimeter wide. CFO, they're straight up flexing on DFM right now. This is a masterclass, and it's beautiful to witness. Jimmy dived on by Steel, but the Nexus towers are getting low. Apperman desperately diving forwards, using his ultimate to buy space for the squad, and he might just have kept this game alive.
CFO making this look like an ARAM, the way they're just walking straight down the map as a team playing poke, playing blitzcrank hooks, and DFM just completely scattered. No. Okay. I was about to say, those recalls are about to get canceled, and there's about to be a hook straight out of that brush. So good thing they used the far side alteration, but now you don't have that again, and you don't know where this blitzcrank is.
You know, until he literally had vanished off my screen, I was so ready for Shouty to go for a hook there. They are going to reset. Drake is up on the map, so they move on to get towards Soul Point.
DFM, no chance to leave their base and fight for it. At this point, best option for DFM is, hey, there are super minions coming in top lane and mid lane. That means we get a lot of experience really, really fast. Cannon minions every way, big EXP off of those supers. That's the only chance they have. And again, I am full on coping. They are down 13,000 gold. But that's the only thing you can tell yourself, because as DFM, you're already down 1-0. You are looking like being put on your last legs here in the tournament. Not over if you lose this series, but there's no more breathing room after that.
Certainly isn't. But CFO, I mean, I'm so pleased to see the performance they're coming in with and the sheer calm with which we're witnessing it. Like, they know what they're doing. They've got comfort picks. And also, Shao Krang kind of reminding everyone, look, they didn't guys, they didn't ban the Blitzcrank. Like, there is nothing ironic about those bans anymore. Like, it's straight up like, you have to respect this, or you have to have a plan on how you're going to deal with it, because he's just an uncontainable monster. Is Gemini going to drop the ult? Looking for a dive behind the tower.
That's a TP flank, but they're just going into your base.
And now a hook off the back of it as well. It's a beautiful little combo, and now DFM, they try and find something.
Arya's coming from behind.
Arya finally arrives, but he's 1v5. Unipod alongside him, though. Chelsea wide on the hook. Shuriken lands. Do you really want to go in on that? Yes, you do, because look at the damage coming out of Unipod here, but Jimmy lives anyway. They are unstoppable. They are indomitable. They've gone 2-0 in their first series at Worlds, and they are here to make a statement in 2023.
CFO, all right. Just dominant in this second match. You know, game one took it slow, played the objectives. Game two, anything but. From the early gank down on the bot side to then just rolling over DFM with every single skirmish. This is a team that plays together so nicely across the map.
And I feel like, you know, this is a team that were coming in as the second seed. They wanted to prove that they're more than that. They wanted to prove that, you know, they may have lost that final, but it was close. They might as well be a first seed from PCS with how that final went. And I think they've really proven that here. You know, coming in once again, this is not their first international, and it doesn't feel like their first international the way they're playing.
No, absolutely not. I was really impressed.
It does the way that they're lighting up on stage.
Yeah. The walkout's also a little bit of a letdown. It was a little serious.